So after So after 1 quarter of play, the score is Norristown 7, Kenrick nothing.
Okay, Riquette now hands off to number 20, the lead back, Jim McLaughlin. McLaughlin gets up to around the 49-50 yard line.
Fast carry to ball for 2 yards, tackled by Salvo.
It's going to be 2nd down and 8.
Okay, Riquette that time handed off to John Termini, and he was immediately stopped at about the 50-yard line. Not much of a gain on the play. In there on the tackle was Dave Salvo and Joe Walden for Norristown's defense.
Termini stopped by Salvo for 1 yard gain. Also in on the tackle.
Okay, Riquette goes back to pass now. He's getting pressured by Norristown's defense. He throws up the right sideline, and he overthrows number 89 out there for Kenrick, Dave Homa. So Kenrick's going to turn over the ball here.
4th and 7.
Requett's back to punt, but
it's a fake there that time. But Riquette, as he goes out, misses Jim DeLucia, also a quarterback on Bishop Kenrick's squad there. So as a result, Norristown's going to get the ball with excellent field position here at about midfield.
Yeah. Kenrick's really been giving Norristown excellent field position in these past couple of drives.
Still in the backfield now for Norristown will be number 10, Scott Livingston, and quarterback, along with Dwight Darden and Dave Towle for now. And it's an end around here. It's well, we're checking on the number at the moment. Number 11, Tyler Smith, comes around from the split end position and takes the handoff from Livingston. He picks up about 3 yards on the play.
It'll be 2nd down and 7. Bello and Bonaducci on the tackle.
Smith ran the ball for 2 yards, tackled by Ello.
All right, Livingston drops back to pass. It's long. The pass is intended for Hadrick, who...
Livingston pass to Hadrick, broken up by Wills.
Hadrick drops the ball. Incomplete. 3rd down and 7. Livingston hands off to Dwight Darden, who's stopped for no gain. In fact, he lost it all yardage there, wouldn't you say?
And in there for the Kenrick tackle will be Ted Mascara and Doug Bonaducci.
Darden stopped for no gain by Mascara. 4th and 7. Norristown 7, Kenrick 0.
Kelly's back to punt. Long bounces for Kenrick.
And finally, the ball's down now by number 38, Mark Johnson, a reserve fullback for the Norristown squad. Kenrick's going to get possession of the ball at around their own 27-yard line.
Kelly's punt down the 28-yard line.
Riquette takes it, gives it off now to number 24, Rich Bass, and Bass gains a yard on the play. He's stopped by Norristown's Dave Salvo. It's going to be second down, 9 yards to go here. 9 minutes left in this first half as Norristown leads 7-0. Burkett takes the handoff. Little misplay there, and Burkett barely gets it off to Rich Bass, and he's tackled by Dave Salvo now for a 3-yard loss on the play. Looks like there was a mistake that time, John, in the backfield.
Yes, it certainly does, but Burkett almost recovered from it. He tossed it off to another backfield.
So it's going to be 3rd and 13 now for Kenrick.
And there's the whistle. Offsides, Norristown. That's 4 offsides in this game for Norristown. So it's now going to be 3rd down and 8.
And pitches out now to Bass, and Bass gets up to around the 33-yard line of Kenrick, and there he's tackled by number 21 of Norristown, Kevin Kelly. So Kenrick's going to have 4th down here and about 3 yards to go, so they're going to punt. Going back for Norristown will be number 23, Dwight Darden, along with number 21 who just made that tackle, Kevin Kelly. Kelly's on the near side of the field and Darden on the far. Going back to punt will be number 30, Chris Mash. He gets off a low line drive right to Darden. Darden takes it, and he's going up the left sideline before he's hit at about the 46-yard line by Kenrick. About a 14-yard return that time for Darden.
He's really been running well today.
And he was stopped by number 72, Mike Boers of Bishop Kenrick. So it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line now for Norristown. Livingston, Darden, and Tolliver in the backfield for the Eagles.
All right, Livingston pitches out to Dwight Darden, who's brought down by Rob Heck, number 16 of the Kenrick defense.
Darden for 2 yards, stopped by Heck.
A 2-yard gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Second and 8.
Livingston drops back for the pass. It's long,
and he just overthrows that time George Hadrick, who was going down the right sideline. Second time Livingston's had Hadrick open. The first time Hadrick dropped the ball, and this time he just barely overthrew him by about a yard. So it's going to make 3rd and 8 now for Norristown, with about 7 minutes left to go here in the first half.
Livingston dropped back again. Goes, passes with a little pressure on him there to Darden. Darden breaks 1 tackle, runs downfield, and makes the 1st down.
Nice play that time by Darden as he sidestepped number 51 of Kenrick, Ted Muscara, and picked up the necessary yardage for the 1st down. So it's going to be 1st and 10 now at the Norristown enters Kenrick territory, and they're on the 41-yard line, 1st and 10.
Norristown 1st and 10 on the Kenrick 41.
And we've got a delay in action here as the officials just threw the Norristown mascot, the Eagle, off the field here, so we've got a delay in the game. why we've got a second here and breaking the play, we just like to say that the front line for the Eagle offensive line, number 72 is Mark Hosington, number 68 is Ken Adamczyk, number 51 is Carlo Gistosi, 65 is Dave Iacovano, and number 74 is Lyndon Johnson. And that time, number 43, Dave Tolliver of Norristown, is stopped by 75, Calamia of Bishop Kenrick.
For a loss of 2 yards, so it'll be second down and 12. We'd like to correct the name of the guard for Norristown, Dave Acavino, number 65. All right, there's a drop back for Livingston. He throws long to Hadrick, and it's intercepted. Richard Wills intercepts for Kenrick. He brings it back to the Kenrick 29.
We've got a correction here. That time it was number 43 for Bishop Kenrick, Tim McKenna, who intercepted that pass that was intended from Livingston to George Hadrick of Norristown. So as a result, Norristown turns it over, and Kenrick's going to get the ball here. And we also had an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty called against Kenrick, so it's going to move the ball further back now, back to their 15-yard line here as they start this drive with 6 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the first half. Norristown still holding a 7-0 lead. Burkett now gives off to the lead back, and he only picks up about 1 yard. Running the ball that time for Kenrick was number 44, John Tarmino.
Reinhardt on the tackle, 2-yard gain.
That goes back.
Burkett handed off there that time in one of his backs. You'll have to pardon us for the time it takes us, but from our angle, it's awfully tough to read the numbers on Bishop Kenrick's jersey. That was John Tarmino, and Dave Salvo made the tackle for Norristown, so it's going to be third down, 6 yards to go for Kenrick. Burkett now fades back to pass. He's being pressured by Joe Walden, and finally he's got in there by number 30, Mike Samuel of Norristown. That's his second sack, we believe, in the game here. So Kenrick's going to have to punt here. Coming in is going to be number 30, Chris Mash. Punt for the Kenrick Knights.
Except for penalties, the Norristown defense has really been holding the line, really keeping Kenrick from gaining any yardage.
It's just the 4 offside penalties especially has really hurt Norristown's defense.
The punt is blocked.
Punt. And it was blocked by number 85, the defensive end for Norristown, Joe Walton. And finally, it's down now by a Kenrick player on the 17-yard line. Great break that time for Norristown as Walton broke through the line and blocked the punt by Mash. This is a golden opportunity this time, John, for Norristown to go in here for a quick score.
Yes, Kenrick's been making several mistakes so far in this game, and this one turnover right here really looks like it's going to hurt them bad.
Livingston gives it now to number 23, Dwight Darden, and Darden picks up a few yards. He gets up to the 15-yard line, and there he's tackled by Mascara for Kenrick.
It'll be second down and about 7.
Start carry for 2 yards.
Livingston back. And Livingston takes the ball and runs for about 2 yards. Number 75, Calamia on the tackle for Kenrick.
Elbow tackles Livingston for a 1-yard gain.
going to be 3rd and 7 here for Norristown on Bishop Kenrick's 9-yard line here. Livingston takes it, rolls out now to his left, pitches out to Darden. Darden going around the end, and he's in for the touchdown. Norristown scores here, and they lead 13-0 as Dwight Darden scores from 9 yards out to give Norristown the lead.
That's the second touchdown for Dwight in this game. Coach Grove said that he was really one of the excellent players, one of the best players on Norristown's squad, and his speed was really going to help. And you can just see now that the defense is having trouble keeping up with him.
It was a nice play that time as Livingston, Norristown's quarterback, rolled out to his left and pitched at the last second to Darden, who swept around the left end to score the touchdown. We've got Kelly now in the kick for the extra point here. And the kick hits the crossbar, and it's no good, so Norristown's going to have to be content with a 13-0 lead here with 3 minutes, 2 seconds to go in the first half.
Kicking off for Norristown will be Kelly once again, number 21. Kelly kicks, and it's short.
And it goes to one of the up men, number 31, Joe Harvey. Harvey gets up to around the 35-yard line now before he's sacked by a lot of Kenrick Norristown people, led by number 32, Troy Ellis.
That was about a 5-yard run back.
First and 10 on the 35-yard line. Official timeout.
Burkett goes back, hands off to number 25, Gino Cognali.
Got a correction on that play. It was Jim McLaughlin, number 20, that took the handoff. Only picked up 4 yards on the play, so it's going to be 2nd and 6 now for Kenrick at their own 39.
4 yards, tackled by Samuel.
Burkett once again. And we've got a penalty on the play. And this time, for once, it's going to be offsides on Bishop Kenrick, so it's going to move their drive back 5 yards. And it's going to be 2nd down and 11 yards now for Kenrick. The ball's moved back to their 33-yard line. Burkett pitches out at the last second now to John Termini Rich Bass, and he gets up finally to around his 37-yard line before he's stopped by Norristown's defense.
It's about a gain of 3 on the play. So it's going to be 3rd down and 9.
Number 25, Gino Cognelli, who gained 111 yards now last week in Kenrick's game against Archbishop Carroll, hasn't been in this game since the opening series of plays here. Now Burkett rolls out to his left. He throws the pass that's intended for number 24, Rich Bass, coming out of the backfield, but he overthrows him now over on the left sideline.
Pass incomplete. Intended for Hayes.
All right, with 4th down and 9, Kenrick's going to punt. Mash, another short punt.
And it goes out of bounds at times at around the 48-yard line of Norristown. So Norristown's got a good chance here to go in for another one with 1 minute and 42 seconds left in the first half. Approximately only a 15-yard punt that time as Kenrick's having problems.
And once again, Kenrick gives Norristown really good field position.
Of course, we've still got Scott Livingston now at quarterback, along with Dwight Darn and Dave Tolliver in the backfield. Livingston rolls out, pitches out to Darden once again. He sweeps around the right side, and he gets up to the 40. And he's still running as he breaks some tackles. Excellent run now by Dwight Darden as he gets all the way up to the 28-yard line. And also, there's going to be a flag thrown here for what I believe will be a late hit now on one of the Kenrick players. And the penalty is going to be called on number 54 of Kenrick, Mike Ello, their linebacker. That was a 17-yard gain now on Dwight Darden. And, John, that was an excellent, a great second effort by Darden that time. As originally we stopped for only about an 8 or 9 yard gain until he broke away from a couple Kenrick tacklers.
Yeah, there were 3 tacklers around him at that point.
And, of course, thanks to the penalty on the play, Norristown's going to be advanced even further, all the way up to Bishop Kenrick's 19-yard line with 1:25 left to go in the first half. And we've really got great chance now to score.
Yeah, it's first down and 10. And Livingston takes the ball, and it pitches out to Darden, 23, and it goes out of bounds to 15.
And he's stopped now by number 16, Rob Heck, a defensive back on Kenrick's squad. Second and 7 here. 1 minute, 17 seconds to go now in the first half. Ball on the 16-yard line now of Kenrick. Norristown driving once again here. Stozy, the center now for Norristown. Livingston takes it. End around once again, this time the number 11 for Norristown. And number 11 for Norristown, Tyler Smith, goes in for the touchdown. He was set up on the right side here. He swept around Livingston, gave him the handoff, and he sweeps in the left side for the 15-yard run for the touchdown. Norristown goes up here by a 19-0 margin. You know, John, that's the second end around that Norristown's executed successfully today. Of course, the other one going to number 42, our other wide receiver, George Hadrick.
Yes, and they've really hurt. Those runs have really hurt the Kenrick team.
They've caught Kenrick by surprise both times.
They're trying the 2-point conversion.
And it's going to be unsuccessful that time as a pitch to number 43 for Norristown. Of course, 43 being Dave Tolliver, the fullback on the Norristown squad.
Tolliver was stopped at around the 1-yard line, so they'll be kicking off to Kenrick.
With 1:09 is going to be left in the half here. Norristown is going to be kicking the ball. Kevin Kelly, number 21, is going to be Norristown's place kicker. Going back to receive it for Bishop Kenrick will be number 23, Dave Carfagno. In the middle, we've got number 44, John Tarmini. And on the far side, we've got number 33, Bruce Colaclori, we believe. Very poor kick that time by Kelly, and it's fielded at the 32 by number 31, Joe Harvey of Kenrick. And Harvey tries to go around back, and he's stopped there, and he takes a 6-yard loss after fielding the ball at the 21. He's down at the 26. And it's down by number 62, Callisto of Norristown.
That's the second time that the kicker for Norristown, Kelly, has doing a short kick.
That time it was a pitch out to number 20 of Kenrick, Jim McLaughlin, which only picked up a couple of yards on the play. They're in their hurry-up offense here with only a half a minute to go in the first half. And this time he hands off once again to number 20, Jim McLaughlin, but there is a flag on the play. And the tackle that time was made by number 62 of Norristown, Larry Saul.
The clock's been stopped with around 26 seconds left in the first half. And the penalty is going to go against Norristown.
So with that penalty against Norristown, it advances the ball for Kenrick up into just about Norristown territory. It's still at their own 47-yard line. 20 seconds left. Roquette fades back to pass. He's being pressured. He tries to go to the sideline to number 44. The pass is intended to Jordan Termini, but it's incomplete. So that stops the clock now with 17 seconds to go in the first half. It's going to be second and 10 now for Bishop Kenrick.
Penalty on the play against Norristown.
And we've got a a foul being called against Norristown for pushing, obviously constituting an interference call. So Kenrick's drive is once again advanced by Norristown's penalties on its defense.
And it's going to be first down and 10 at the Norristown 40.
The 15th year reunion will be held at the Mansion House on Saturday, November 1st. The evening will include cocktails, dinner, dancing to Tom Selleck's quartet, and an open bar till 1 o'clock a.m. The committee has made an effort to contact all classmates.
Once again, Coach Grove is out on the field. Timeout.
By calling Mrs. Jerry Taglioli at 539-52.
In this drive, as in one earlier drive, Norristown's defense.
We're back here, and that time Roquette went back to pass, and he was sacked by Troy Ellis with some help from number 85, Joe Walton, defensive end from Norristown. So the ball is moved now back to Norristown's 48-yard line.
Coach Grove is back out on the field again.
With only 10 seconds to go, you're in the first half. Norristown leading 19-0.
It's around second down and 7.
Kenrick and I formation this time.
Big to the halfback.
And Roquette once again is sacked this time by Dave Salvo, along with an assist from Joe Walden of the Eagles.
Roquette sacked by Salvo.
Going to be third down. About 13. With only a few seconds left to play in the first half.
30-23. 9 seconds.
We've got a substitution here. Number 61, Steve Tribbett's leaving the game for Norristown, and coming in is number 64, Joe Patine. This time, hands off, just a basic play up the middle now to Jim McLaughlin. Yeah, Jim McLaughlin, who gains about 6 yards. Patine makes the tackle now. He just came into the game for Norristown. At the end of the first half, Norristown leads by a 19-0 margin. Hi, I'm Alan Raleigh.
And I'm John Doyle. And we're here with a halftime show at the Norristown Kenrick High School football game.
Obviously, John, Norristown had a very dominating first half here. Going in the second half, they have a very commanding 19-0 score. How about giving us how the first touchdown was scored by Norristown?
Well, Dwight Darden ran for the first touchdown for 53 yards. He also had the second touchdown on a 10-yard run in the second quarter. And Tyler Smith was the third touchdown, 15-yard run.
Of course, now on the third touchdown, Tyler Smith, who's their wide receiver, and the round play down in Kenrick territory, scored from 15 yards out. Interesting offensive wrinkles here by Coach Grove. Besides, obviously, the big strength of Dwight Darden with the 53-yard run when he broke down the left sideline. He's already gained 117 yards in the game. But also, we've had two end arounds by the flankers, one by George Hadrick, which gained 15 yards, and then, of course, the one by Tyler Smith that gained 15 for the touchdown.
Both were successful too. They really seem to be, the Kenrick defense doesn't seem to be able to defend against Norristown's offense.
Of course, Jack Hash, the Kenrick coach, as you heard in our pregame interview, said that would be the big problem, that they'd have a lot of problems, the Kenrick defense we're talking about, trying to keep up with Norristown's speed out of the backfield with Dave Tolliver and Dwight Darden, and also their general overall speed as far as their wide receivers, George Hadrick and, of course, Tyler Smith. And Norristown's defense today has been outstanding, except for the few lapses they've had where they've had a lot of defensive penalties, especially offsides calls, 5 of them in the first half called against them.
This was a major problem due to the fact that these offsides calls were during the drives when Kenrick was trying to gain yardage. Kenrick's team was not gaining much yardage on runs. They were mostly gaining on the penalties Norristown was getting.
And leading the way right now for the Norristown defense has been Dave Salvo, who's having an excellent game with 11 tackles already. And the next highest tackler for Norristown would be Steve Tribbett with 5 tackles. And of course, we've sacked Bishop Kenrick's quarterback, Ted Rickett, 3 times in the first half alone. How about going over the Norristown running backs total yardage, John?
Well, for our running backs total yardage, we have Darrell Livingston, who ran
minus 17 yards, unfortunately. Darrell's had a few problems. He's been pressured in the backfield.
Dwight Darden has run for 117 yards. David Tolliver's run for minus 2 yards. He's had some problems, too. And Tyler Smith ran for 17.
Well, obviously, Dave Tolliver's been used mainly as the blocking back, and he set up some key blocks to get Dwight Darden free, especially on the 53-yard run. And, of course, Darden, well, what can you say, 117 yards. He looks like he's the running back for this year's team. As far as Kenrick goes, Ted Rickett's been sacked in the backfield, as we said, 3 times for minus 20 yards. The top ground gainers for Kenrick after that would be John Tarmini, who has 20 yards, Jim McLaughlin with 9, and Richard Bass with 15. As far as passing, Darrell Livingston's completed 1 pass out of 5 for 14 yards. That's to Dwight Darden. And Ted Rickett's only completed 1 out of 4 to Richard Bass for 8 yards. And John, what type of things are we going to have to look for here in the second half from Kenrick?
Well, it looks like Kenrick's going to have to really try to defend against Norristown's speed. That's where their major problem has come. And their offense is going to have to go a little more towards the passing game to try and work against the defense, this very strong defense line that Norristown has.
Right. Kenrick really hasn't had a good chance today to execute their wishbone at all. Even again, their first game loss to Archbishop Carroll, they gained 200 yards rushing and 55 yards passing. Here, it seems Norristown's defense has definitely contained it. Plus, it's either been offensive penalties, and actually, our defensive penalties have probably advanced the ball more than Bishop Kenrick's offense.
That's really true.
Ended.
And now we'll go back to the field, the start of the game, as Kenrick's team enters the field.